here to talk about breathing techniques, mainly for stress relief. But in order to do that, you have to know how to breathe properly. So we're going to start with talking about proper breathing mechanics. So if you were to put your hand on your chest and you felt your chest rise when you breathe, you're not breathing right. If you feel like you're having to lift up your shoulders and you're breathing like this, you're not breathing right. All of this is you using your muscles to lift up, and you think you're giving yourself extra lung volume, but you're actually using those accessory muscles, which is going to use more oxygen. So we want to do what's called diaphragmatic breathing. That's where you breathe from your belly. So I think the easiest way, because it's hard to imagine pushing your belly out, but what you really want is your ribs to expand, like you're breathing deep into your sides. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And you should really feel those ribs go out to the side, and then long, slow exhale. And when you exhale, try to do it through pursed lips, nice and slow. You should actually be exhaling longer than your inhale. For example, if you're inhaling for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 6. And that's really going to help keep that oxygenation up. You have to remember, when we breathe in, that oxygen has to get into the blood so that it can be carried to our organs, so we have to give it time. All right. The next thing I like to talk about is stretching our lungs. We're going to do stretching our lungs. We're going to do a nice little lung stretch. This is good right before you do your exercises, or it's really good for the start to the day. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a nice deep breath in, all the way up until you fully expand your lungs. And then you're going to try to suck in a little more, suck in a little more, and then suck in a little more. So I'll demonstrate for you. Lungs are full, and I'm going to, in a little more, and a little more. And exhale. This time. So let's all breathe in nice and deep. And suck in a little more. A little more. A little more. And exhale. And that's really just trying to get that extra volume, stretch out those lungs so they're ready to go. We usually wake up a little bit tight in the mornings, especially when we've been laying on our backs. It takes a little bit of time. Position has a lot to do with how much our lungs can expand as well. If you're laying flat, you're not going to be able to expand your lungs as much as you are when you are standing upright. And that's because gravity plays a large role in that, based on the surface area. So, all right. So my first breathing technique that I like to talk about is called 4-7-8. This called 4-7-8. This one is a pretty standard one. You're going to inhale for 4, you're going to hold for 7, and then you're going to exhale for a count of 8. And this is a nice calming one when you need to go to bed. I like to do this right before sleep. So I'll demonstrate for you. I'm going to inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now my count may not be the same as your count. Everybody has to do what feels right for them. So if you need to speed it up, or if you need to slow it down, most people don't like to slow it down if you're not used to it. But just imagine that count. And I like to use a little bit of imagery when I'm doing this. So when you breathe in, I like to think of the waves coming in. And then when I'm exhaling, I like to think of the waves going out. Some people like to imagine a breeze blowing through a nice field of flowers or through the trees and the leaves. Whatever works for you, that's going to help. That imagery is going to help as a calming technique. So let's go ahead and do it all together. We're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And just in case you need a little more imagery, when you're thinking about the way you're inhaling and exhaling, I always say smell the roses, blow out the candles. So, or blowing bubbles is a perfect example of how you should slowly and evenly try to exhale. You don't want to do it too forcefully, but you also don't want to have any variances. You want to have a nice steady breath when you're doing that. There's a lot of aspects to that long, slow exhale that you really want to focus on. The exhale is actually what activates what's called our parasympathetic nervous system, and that downregulates our heart rate and our blood pressure, so it helps lower them, and that's what's going to help with those stress levels, because when you take into account all of these other factors that are physical that you're feeling with stress, we want to decrease that. So high heart rate, when your heart's beating fast, you're kind of feeling that stress. That's when you really need to breathe. We also have a tendency to clench our jaws and hold our breath when we're stressed. So sometimes it's good to do a nice big jaw stretch where you just open your mouth as big and wide as possible. So this one in yoga, they call it the lion's breath, where you would take a nice deep breath in, and then you would have a big exhale and you actually sigh. Yes, y'all know. So let's do that a few times. Nice big deep breath in, and again. Get those mouths nice and wide. You want to stretch that jaw out when you exhale. Roar like a lion. That's why it's called lion's breath. Let's do it one more time. There you go. You got it. All right. All right. So I also have a couple of techniques, and we're going to call them water, whiskey, and coffee breathing. And that's because they all do a little something different for you. Your water breathing is your general everyday. We need water all day throughout the day. This is what we need how we need to learn to breathe properly when we're just going about our everyday actions. Your whiskey breathing, every once in a while you might need a drink or something to take the edge off. That's something for when you're really feeling that stress that you can do in order to help relieve some of that. All of these, the whiskey breathing you want to do in rounds of anywhere from 5 to 8. And then the coffee breathing is the same thing. Well, not the same thing. It's actually when you feel tired and you're ready to get that boost. So you can do it first thing in the morning. So these are when you really want to time them out and use it sparingly, right? You don't want to drink, as much as we love coffee, we don't want to drink it all day long, right? So you want to use it when you actually need that pick-me-up, because you don't want to rev up your system too much, right? So that one I usually say in the morning. If you have that afternoon slump right before exercise, those are perfect examples of when to use the coffee breathing. So we'll start with water breathing, and that's just a count in for 4, out for 4. Nice and steady breathing. So imagine just like a nice little oscillation of waves. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now again, that speed may not be exactly what fits you. Just make sure you're filling those lungs all the way up and getting all of that stale air out when you breathe. So speed up the count or slow down the count, but that's a nice steady breathing that you can do just throughout your day. And that's gonna also, sometimes when you have to stop and think about it, it's gonna help you remember that when you're stressed, that you're not holding all that tension up here. You're really thinking about your breathing and getting your mind off of it. Again, resetting that parasympathetic nervous system and then going about the task that you needed to do. All right, the next one is the whiskey breathing, the one where we just need to take the edge off a little. So that one is going to be, it's also called box breathing if you've ever heard of that. So you're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So let's go ahead and inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Let's go back to your water breathing now. So that one again is maybe you're going to sleep and it's kind of like counting sheep, right? Except you're focusing on the breathing as well. So it's more than just getting your mind off of having to go to sleep. You're focusing on breathing and relaxing the nervous system to help.
I needed that last night. Where were you yesterday?
Well, now you know.
Yeah. 1:30 a.m. I'm like, why?
Should have called me. I was up.
I should have.
I fell asleep at 9. I woke up at 12 and thought it was morning.
Oh no.
Oh man. Right, so coffee breathing. This is when we need to get revved up a little bit. So this one is a nice big deep inhale in, and then you're gonna have 20 forceful exhales out. So small ones. So don't do them all, don't let out all the air all at once. You want to do it over time. So I'll demonstrate for you first. I'm going to hold my hands on my stomach because it's going to feel like little contractions in your diaphragm. So I'm going to inhale nice and deep in, and then I'll start my exhale. So, and then you might have to breathe in a little bit. I did catch myself breathing in a little bit in between. But you really want to get that forceful exhale. That's what matters. So fill up all the way, and then it's going to be exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You're laughing at me.
I can't think I'll ever get to 20.
That's okay. Well, that's where you might have to take little inhales in. So you're not trying to hyperventilate. You really are trying to get all of that the stale air exhaled. But you're also working on that diaphragmatic strength, you know, that expiratory volume that we're looking for. So, all right, let's all do it together. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Probably a little rough that first time. You'll kind of get an idea because we're going to do it again. I'm going to do it 2 more times with you. So take a couple of nice deep breaths, that water breathing. All right, when you're ready, nice big deep breath in. (13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Getting there, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, water breathing. Take a few breaths, get back to your regular breathing, and we'll do that one more time. I already feel a little energized. I feel like fingers are tingling a little bit. All right, get ready. We're going to take that nice big inhale. And 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. All right, back to that water breathing. And that's going to wrap up my breathing techniques. Does anybody have any questions?